Hey everybody, Tony and Sarah Zolecki here. Today's video is going to be on how to reconnect with just old friends, acquaintances, and then how to talk to them about your business.
Yep, so before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you get videos just like this.
And if you have any questions, just drop them below in the comments and we'll make sure to go back and answer those.
All right, so let's talk about this topic. So this topic, guys, shouldn't be a hard topic. But it's funny because people are always like, oh my God, I haven't talked to my friend Susie in 8 years. How do I talk about my business? I'm like, well, you don't necessarily go right for the jugular right away. How about hey, how you been the last 8 years, right? Be normal. That's my very first tip I want to tell you guys is you want to be normal when it comes with reconnecting with people, right? Mm-hmm. And the beautiful thing about social media is, guess what? We all connect with a lot of people, right? How many of you guys, since being on, Facebook or been on Instagram, you found some people that you're like, dude, I haven't seen you since high school, right? Or I haven't, been able to get connected with you since college or whatever it may be. Social media is such an awesome platform to do that. Well, here's the thing that I want to let you guys know, okay? So when you're connecting with people on social media, especially just, old friends, it's so important to if you are jumping into Messenger right away, just have that really, really simple conversation with them. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how have you been? Hey, I see you got married. Hey, I see you got to have a couple kids. Hey, I see you moved to Colorado, right? It's just asking those questions of reconnecting. It would kind of be like this. If you went to a restaurant, if you went to a bar, if you went to Target or wherever and you bumped into someone you haven't seen forever, what would that conversation look like? That's the exact conversation you want to have in the beginning in Messenger, right? If you ran into them at the bar or restaurant, you wouldn't say, hey, I'm going to send you a link. You need to take a look at it. Do you keep your career options open, right? If it didn't currently interfere with what you're already doing, right? But that's what people do though.
Yeah.
They jump in there. I'm like, and your friend at the bar is like, dude, what the heck? Doesn't that just sound
You're
silly?
a weirdo. That's what they say.
Yeah,
You're a weirdo.
That's what we do in social media.
I know.
Versus it's hey, oh my God, it's so good to see you. What have you been up to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really spending time to get to know them again.
Yeah, I like it talking. How's the family doing? If I'm reconnecting with somebody from high school or gosh, even grade school, I ask how if I remember them having brothers or sisters or, how's mom and dad doing? Do you still live in the same house? Man, I remember playing baseball with you.
Well, you hope they're not living in the same house. 45 still living in their parents' basement.
Yeah.
That might not be a good prospect.
Yeah, I meant to say, is mom and dad still living in the same house? You know what I mean? But yeah, that would kind of be, holy crap, I better move on to the next person. But here's the thing, just talk to them. What are you doing for work now? Did you end up going to college, right? Oh my gosh, what are you still doing for fun? All those things, because that just warms up the connection.
Exactly.
It just warms you back up in their life. And it's simple, but so many people don't want to do the basics. They want to go right after, hey, will you join my business? Hey, will you buy my product? Hey, I got to show you this thing. And there's just no rapport. And when there's no rapport, it's not real rapport, authentic rapport. Those people are like, whatever, see you later, right?
Yeah. So, and what you guys are going to find too is that when you do ask the questions, right? How are they doing? What they've been up to? All that good stuff. Well, first of all, I would tell you, before you message them, go on their profile and see what the heck they've been up to. You don't want to be some knucklehead and you know that it shows on there clearly in their pictures that they live in the mountains, they live in Colorado, and you're like, hey, so are you still in Wisconsin? And they're going to be like, well, obviously you haven't checked out my profile, right? Make sure you do some homework and research so if it says on there if they're married or divorced or kids or, you can really pick up on a lot, right, from someone's profile. So number one, you got to do your homework before you jump in Messenger. But then when you do jump in Messenger, ask those questions. And typically, guess what happens? After you ask them, hey, what are you up to? Guess what they're going to say? They reciprocate the opposite, right? They're going to reciprocate back where they're like, hey, what are you doing? What's new in your world, right? Again, you always have to remember, guys, what happens in Messenger, a lot of it, it's the same conversation if you met someone face to face. Think about that, right? What would that conversation look like? That has helped me so much when I'm having those conversations in Messenger is always acting like I was face to face with someone, you know?
Yeah, so good. And then another thing is your personal profile, your wall, have a decent picture.
Yeah.
Have, great advice or content or good value on your wall. If you got a lot of drama and trauma and this and that, and this person's reconnecting with you, they're like on your wall going, man, they're complaining all the time, or they're, doing this, and, I really don't want to follow that person or reconnect with that person. So just make sure that you're putting out good stuff, because they're watching you as much as you're watching them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's a great example. I remember when I first got on social media, I remember that I connected with a couple of people, and right away, like, I ended up like unfriending them because I was like, I don't really know. Even though I was kind of friends with them in high school, I don't think I really want to be friends with them now, because number one, everything they were posting, it was like they were 18 still. And I was like, dude, I ain't the same girl. Like, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I've gone through tremendous growth and personal development and worked really hard on who I am today. And I'm like, I just know that we would never, ever be aligned. Right. And so, make sure too that, the stuff that you're posting, like exactly what I was doing with him, they're going to be doing with you.
Yeah.
Right. On your social media. So you got to make sure that you're bringing it.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that, the more you're aware of that, and every day you're like, okay, what does my posting look like? I'm going to make sure it's positive, it's upbeat, it's good. It puts out good vibes, right? And, you also want to have engagement too on your wall. And I think, I see you always do cool, funny memes, or, you'll put stuff together about high school or remember this back then. And it gets people to engage and go, oh my God, Sarah, I remember that song, or I remember that party, or I remember dressing up.
Yeah. Well, I think, guys, that's what's cool too, right? So you get to be, again, it's about marketing, right? So sometimes you can put engagement posts out that will attract people that will remember those memories, or remember, like, what was your first car, or what was your favorite thing about high school, or what was your favorite thing to eat when you were a teenager, or whatever it may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times people will comment on that, and all of a sudden you'll see 5, 6, 7 people on there that maybe knew you, right, 10, 20 years ago, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this is 10, 20 new leads, right, of people that I can jump in Messenger with and say, hey, how you doing? What's happening, right? And so you can also kind of find a way to segment, right, different, I guess, kind of like times in your life based on the curiosity posts that you do and the engagement posts, because those types of people are gonna, engage on your posts, and that's how you can, obviously start that conversation.
Yeah, and I think how you bring the business up, whether, you're selling a product, a service, or you want them to join you to make some money, is invite them into a group. I mean, that is the easiest way to do it. Once you've reconnected, you've built some rapport, you have engagement, they've been watching you, you've been watching them, invite them into one of your groups.
Exactly.
Let them see what your product is. Let them see what your business is. Let them see what you've been doing, or, what you've been so excited and passionate about. Let them see that side, but do it the right way, where it's very third party. It's not about you. It's not you, talking all the time, jamming it down their throat. You're letting the tools, you're letting the groups, you're letting the stories, you're letting the information that's already in there, explain it to them.
Yeah.
Get them excited. Get them to say yes or no. Get them to want to try it. Get them to want to join you. But it's coming from the third party group versus you.
Yep, exactly. Well, and I think too, guys, that invitation, it can be really simple, right? When they ask you, what do you do? Like, you could tell them, most of us, I know you've got full-time careers, or maybe you're fortunate enough to be like stay-at-home parent, right? So you can let them know that's what you do, but also you've got a side hustle, right? Or you got a side gig, or you build a part-time business online, right? And this is a product line that you wrap, or this is a product line that you promote and you love, and you're having a blast doing it. And then you simply can just ask them, hey, I've got a really cool Facebook group that I'd love to add you to, where you can kind of dig around and see exactly what I do. And if you love it, great, but at least you'll know what I'm up to. You know what I mean? Like, is it okay if I add you in there, right? So, and they're going to say yes or no and whatever, and you still be friends with them. And sometimes it takes a little while, right? Where all of a sudden they might come back to you and say, hey, that I'd love to take a look at that group, or hey, what, would you tell me more about that product? But again, it's just always about, for us, it's the relationships first, right? And then the business second. This is always how we've ran. And so again, it's just like you might invite and they might say yes or no. But that doesn't mean just because you invite once and they say no, it doesn't mean you don't invite again and again and again. I mean, now, not like day after day after day, right? Give it some time and love on their back, go back to loving on their profile and really getting, reestablishing that relationship. But you'd be surprised on how many people will buy your product or service, down the road once you, do reconnect with them. Or sometimes I've even had people too that have joined the business as well, which has been awesome.
Awesome, babe. Well, if you got some value out of this, make sure you share it with somebody. Tell them about this video. Tell them about our page. Make sure you're subscribed and they subscribe because we drop videos like this every week and they're absolutely awesome. And if you want to get a hold of us because you have some questions for us or you want to deep dive into this topic more or you want to talk about coaching and mentoring, we do that. You can get a hold of us on Instagram.
Yep. So all you need to do is actually just look for Tony's handle, Tony Zolecki. My handle, Sarah Zolecki. Just send us a private message. We'll get connected with you and then we'll go from there. So until the next video, guys, take care and we'll talk to you soon.